Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Burton Ballers. And as we're about to face Leeds United at the weekend, I'm going to ask the question, is Graham Potter the worst manager in Chelsea's history?
Welcome to the Burton Ballers. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah.
So first of all, an apologies for not putting out a few more videos this week. It's been a very busy week in my household. We've just got new windows, new doors, lots of upheaval this week. So I haven't really had a chance to make as many videos as I'd have liked. So today I'm going to be talking about our upcoming game against Leeds. Not really about Leeds. I'm going to be focusing more on Graham Potter, because a lot of people are still disgruntled about the way that Graham Potter is managing the club, and they are saying that he's only got a couple of games to save his job. The first one is our fixture now against Leeds United, and the other game is against Borussia Dortmund. Lose these two and his position could be untenable. So, as I said, a lot of our fans are saying, yeah, definitely the worst manager Chelsea have had in their history. But is he? I'm going to look at some stats to prove otherwise. You know, maybe in their time of supporting Chelsea, but not overall. So let's start from the lowest. The worst manager to ever manage Chelsea is a guy called Danny Blanchflower, and he was the second manager that I've ever seen since supporting Chelsea. And there's another manager on the list which I'm going to go to next. So Danny Blanchflower only had a measly 16% win rate for Chelsea. Can you imagine if he was here now? What would the fans be thinking? And Danny Blanchflower, I remember some of the low lights of me supporting Chelsea, and it was Middlesbrough 7, Chelsea 2. But that was soon to be followed by a 5-1 defeat by Ipswich Town, a 6-0 defeat by Nottingham Forest, and a 5-2 defeat by Arsenal. We were getting battered. You know that song, Chelsea get battered everywhere they go. Chelsea get battered everywhere they go. Everywhere they go. Well, no, we're losing 1-0. You know, we're not scoring any goals. We're not getting battered. But if you're talking about getting battered, that's when we were getting battered. We were getting battered left, right, and centre. You know, Middlesbrough. I think Peter Osgood, I remember he came back to the club, scored a brilliant header in that game, if memory serves me right. And then Middlesbrough just came, and I think we went 1-0 up, and then they just came, blew us apart, 7-2. Yeah, that was dark days for Chelsea. Try supporting Chelsea back then you will know what it seems like to be depressed. Another thing about Danny Blanchflower, yeah, he was Tottenham, so we never get someone from Tottenham to manage us. But mind you, there's another guy who I'm going to talk about a bit later who was Tottenham, and he did quite well for us actually. But Danny Blanchflower, he came in, and the thing is with Danny Blanchflower, which is kind of similar to Graham Potter, what gives me some of Warrior vibes, is that he was like a mild-mannered. He was very mild-mannered, and so he was. You know, it wasn't hard enough on the players, and that's why, you know, they didn't really perform well for him. And then we had a guy called Ken Shilleto. Ken Shilleto was actually my first manager when I started supporting Chelsea. Ken Shilleto was in charge. He'd taken over from David McCready. I just missed out on the David McCready. I think I was too young to remember David McCready, but I remember Ken Shilleto at Chelsea, and he got us relegated. I think we were terrible. We stuck with this guy, got us relegated. So sometimes sticking with a manager, seeing if they can get through the sticky patch. Is it worth it? That's what I'm saying. How long is how long? How long do we give to someone like Potter before we realise? I know people saying we're not going to go down, but, you know, good teams have gone down before, so never say never, guys. You know, so he only had a 23% win rate at Chelsea. And did we sell Ray Wilkins under him or Blanchflower? I think it might be Blanchflower that we sold Ray Wilkins from yeah, so this was, but I had a bit of sympathy as well for Shieletto, because with Shieletto, Chelsea had a crippling bill because we built that East Stand, and because we built that East Stand, money was tight at the time, so he had to make do with a lot of younger players. So he's bringing in a lot of younger players, and so it was a difficult period for Chelsea. But there's something that I want to read about Ken Shieletto, because I needed to make sure I got all my facts straight with him, and I came across this. And again, this sounds familiar with the current manager that we've got at the club. And this is what it says: Ken Shieletto was seen as a quiet, respectable individual, but he never had the chapaz of his predecessors when he became manager of Chelsea in 1977. While Macready was bold in his prediction and his appearance, Shieletto was more reserved and less prone to statement making. Sounds familiar, anyone? Potter vibes there. Yeah, so yeah, he didn't last long, 23% a win rate. And then the next guy I'm going to talk about is Ian Porterfield. He had a 34% win rate. Porterfield, he came in and for one season stabilising the club. He actually started the next season really well. We were actually title challengers, and that was in 1992, I think. 1992, yeah. I think it was 1991, 92 time. We were title challengers at one stage, but it all fell apart after Christmas. After Christmas, I think that's similar to what we're going through now, actually. We weren't even scoring goals, not much just winning games. And we went on a 12 games without a win, as we slumped down the table before Ken Bates said, you know what, enough is enough. And as I said, looking at comparisons between him and our manager at the moment, 2 wins in 12. This guy had no wins in 12, so it's kind of similar to what's going on at the moment. And there, so he had to go after that sort of poor record and that slump down the table. Now, on to Tottenham a player who did well for us, and that was Glenn Hoddle. When I say did well, did he? Because he's down at he's got a worse win percentage than Graham Potter. He's got a 34% win rate up for Chelsea, and this is where I think we can see if Potter can improve on certain aspects, why he may be able to be given a chance. But if he doesn't, then this is why he probably needs to go. Because with Glenn Hoddle, although his win percentage was 34%, what we saw with Glenn Hoddle was signs of he was taking Chelsea from a different style of play, ugly style of play. Because I remember when David Webb came in, I think David Webb came in as caretaker just after Ian Porterfield had left, and he was playing some dire football. But it was football that we needed to stay up, basically. It was instructing the defenders, you get the ball, you just lump it up the field as far as you can as possible, and just play percentage football. So when Glenn Hoddle came in, he wanted to change the whole philosophy, because Tottenham were known as a team who played good football. And Glenn Hoddle was a very graceful midfielder, so he wanted us to start to play football on the ground rather than just kick it and lump it. And it was telling that one player, and now that we're playing Leeds over the weekend, so this guy who's played for both Chelsea and Leeds, a guy by the name of Michael Dewberry, and what he said one day, I've always remembered this interview that he had with him. He had once on, I think it was on TV, and he said, it was a bit weird getting used to Glenn Hoddle, because he was telling us, he was in training, as a defender, you get the ball, you pass it to one of your midfielders, try and play out from the back, and they're thinking, hold on a minute, I'm not used to this, because I'm just used to getting the ball, winning it, and just lumping it up the field as far as possible. So he had to retrain the way that our defenders were playing, because he wanted, as I said, a more stylistic type of football. And so we saw that under him, how we changed. They made a few mistakes sometimes because they weren't used to passing the ball out the back. But he said, sort of embraced that and said, "Look, learn from your mistakes, keep doing it, and you'll get used to it." And then, if you saw the way Michael Dewberry played towards the latter part of Glenn Hoddle's tenure, he improved him no end. And he was, now Now, I wouldn't say a graceful ball player, but he was a lot better with the ball with his feet, a lot better at finding his opposition. Frank Sinclair was another one. And so all these defenders then knew how to play from the back, play out from the back. So although, as I said, his win percentage wasn't good, what we saw was a transition, a change in the way we played. And that set us up for the future. That set us up. What Glenn Hoddle done is set us up for the trophies that we won under Ruud Gullit and under Vialli. He brought in players who can play, implement this. That's the style of football he wanted to play as well. And it rubbed off on the likes of the younger players as well. So, you know, the Eddie Newtons, the Duberys and the like. So that's why, as I said, sometimes if you can see what a manager's trying to do and you can see that transition into the way that we play on the pitch, then yeah, we can stick with him. But that's another thing which I'd like to see more for Graham Potter, if he was to stay, that we can see what he's trying to do, what he's trying to implement. Okay, he's had the injuries, he's had new players to implement, but you know, we have to see these things taking part and say, oh yeah, that's what he's trying to do. I get it now. I'm prepared to wait. So that's the thing. So is he going to be another Glenn Hoddle type where he's kind of implements his style? Or is he going to be like the Danny Blanchflowers, the Ken Shilettos, too nice to manage Chelsea, too mild-mannered? What camp is he in? What do you think? Do you think he's in that sort of too mild to manage Chelsea and he's never going to get it right? Or do you think, given time, that he can be like another Glenn Hoddle and implement a playing style, an identity for the club to move us forward, to win more trophies going forward? You know, what do you think? Stick your comments in the section below. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. So, got Leeds United on Saturday. Got to win this game. I don't care what anyone says. All these other, I'm still hearing these people wanting us to lose so that he can lose his job. You know, I'm a Chelsea man, and I want us to win every game. So stop that nonsense about wanting us to lose. Sorry. And so, yeah, that's the end of my video. As I said, stick your comments in the section below. And don't forget, guys, as always, to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. And I will see you on the next video. So take care. Bye-bye.